Welcome to Dollars and Cents, a monthly finance podcast presented by Ultra Federal Credit Union and the Leighton Media Podcast Network.
Welcome to another episode of Dollars and Cents here on the Leighton Media Podcast Network. Tony Beyer from Ultra Federal Credit Union is with us. He is a financial wellness coordinator at Ultra. And Tony, welcome. Thanks for coming in again. Good to see you.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So we have obviously approaching very quickly is the Christmas season,
Yes.
The holiday season. A lot of people love it, but what goes along with that in our culture is a lot of gifts and a lot of gift giving, buying presents, all that kind of stuff. All of that stuff costs money. And for some people, they're in better situations than others to maybe spend that money on holiday gifts. But we're going to talk about today how to do it responsibly, right? You know, how to shop responsibly. And just in general, let's just go over some holiday spending and money tips and kind of understanding some of that holiday spending stress that some people go through.
Absolutely. Yeah. So like you said, it can be a great, magical, beautiful time, but it can also be a very stressful time, the holidays, with a lot of different pressure, whether that be having to spend money for, loved ones, or there's different spending triggers, or, social media or other influences. There's just a lot going on around the holidays. So the more that we understand and can prepare for that, the better we can be. And a big way to really alleviate some of that stress is the planning and getting started early with all of this.
And how do people get started early? What's the best way to do that?
Yeah, really, if you're able to, put a plan together. So something that's going to help you, number one, be able to still afford all of your, regular expenses and things like that. But, putting together a list, having limits in mind on what we might need to spend. And then also thinking about all the different, not only the gifts with holiday spending, but with, some of the travel, with some of the, the meals and food and, some of those things that might be a little unexpected, putting away a few dollars to try to do that. But no way, shape, and form easy whatsoever with all of this. But that spending plan and what we'd like to accomplish, the sooner we can do that, the better we're going to be.
Yeah, because a lot of times it can go beyond the gifts, right?
Yeah.
It's not just the gifts. It can be, like you say, the travel or planning the big meal or whatever it is. Yeah, those are things that could kind of creep up on us. Now, we do have some common pitfalls, things like last minute shopping, impulse purchases, underestimating the total costs of things. Because let's face it, we live in a capitalist society, right? It's stores at this time of year. This is their biggest time. This is the time a lot of stores get into the black, is just the holiday spending season.
Right.
So they're going to arrange their stores to get us to buy more stuff. How do we avoid some of those common pitfalls?
Absolutely. They really, tug on the emotions, with all of this. But it's, going into it and expecting that, but, doing your research. There's a lot of different tools online. So, what is the best price, for an item, for a product? We could look for if there's items that, might be off season right now, might be able to save some money. But a lot of it comes with that research and just recognizing that, there's going to be things coming at you from all angles, and really with some of that advertising. Really look at what is it they're selling, to try to get past the emotional, part of it. Not easy whatsoever. With all of this. And then there's, this sale only goes on for this long, or this is the
sense of urgency.
Yes.
That they create.
This is the lowest price it's been in years, or something like that. Or there's only four available, act now. Not easy whatsoever with that. But like I said, doing the research and planning, and setting some limits as well. And, talking with those that you're getting gifts from, maybe agreeing on limits, or see if there's other things that we could do instead of, giving a gift. We have an experience, or a get together, or a meal, or something like that, or looking for other ways we might be able to save money.
Absolutely. And unfortunately, some of the overspending that can lead to credit card debt and even financial instability that carries over into an entire year, right?
Right.
Next year.
It can be easy just to, just put that on the card where we're tapping, we're dipping and saying, oh, that's a January problem or something. But That credit card debt, that can last quite some time. Yeah. I know the last numbers I saw from the Federal Reserve, average credit card interest rate is right around 22%. Oh man! So that is some high interest debt, and anything we could do to avoid that, we certainly want to do it.
And do you find, this is kind of, I guess, outside of just Christmas spending, but do most people still carry a lot of credit card debt, even though, we kind of know, I think, a little more about the interest rates and about how some of the credit card companies try to clip us with that? Are there still a lot of people carrying debt? What do the latest numbers say with that?
Yeah, so some of the things I've seen, about half of credit card users, they're revolvers, so they are, carrying a balance from month to month, and every time that balance revolves, it is picking up interest on that. And about the other half, last I saw, are those convenience users, transactors. So they're going to be making their payments in full every month. That's definitely what we want to do, because that way you don't pay anything in interest when you're paying off that card in full with that. But it can be easy to fall in that trap. Just, I'm going to pay for this later. That's a 2026 problem. But we do need to think about that now.
And I mean, it's, it's situational for some people if they're going through a situation where they're unemployed or something like that. Obviously, there are life hardships that get in the way of that too. But
unfortunately.
Yeah. So obviously, create a spending plan is always good when we're talking about holiday expenses. And as you said, set clear spending limits. There's something called SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound. Can you expand on that a little bit, what that is?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's what we want our goals to be. So with that acronym, like we said, SMART, the more specific our goal, the more real it becomes. We know exactly what it is that we're going for, whether that be we're saving up for an experience or for a gift or something of that nature. Measurable, that is going to be, are your actions getting you closer, to that goal or further away? So it's kind of that progress bar, I guess, on the goal. You want the goal to be just out of reach, but with a good plan. It is achievable. If it's not achievable, you're not going to do it.
Right.
You want it to be relevant, so something that you care about, something that is going to help. And then the most important, the T, time-bound, time-sensitive. That's what creates, the action with a goal. So it's a smart idea to do SMART goals.
Yeah, absolutely. And how advantageous is it for people to, set some of those short-term and long-term goals as it relates to holiday spending, the holiday season, and then maybe not be afraid to adjust those goals as needed, right? So Absolutely. It's not set in stone. How important is that?
Incredibly important. Yeah, with your budget, with your goals, they are very dynamic. They're always changing. Our situations change. Our income can change. What's important to us, all of that can change. So our goals are going to change with that. And when I talk about putting together a spending plan, goal setting, they really go hand in hand. So what's in that goal that you want to accomplish, that needs to be a part of your plan.
Right. Absolutely. Yep. And we're, more than 2 months from Christmas now. So we're, kind of a ways away from it, but, prepare now, right? Yeah. Start now, start planning now think about probably who you want to shop for, how much you want to spend, what you can get. I even, in my family, I'm blessed to be with some very frugal people in my family. And so sometimes my wife will actually start shopping for the next Christmas, this Christmas, so she does like the clearance stuff, right? That you see in January, and she'll know, I'm going to shop for this person, and maybe it's a gift that she's pretty sure will still be relevant to that person, a year later. You can also do things like that, but how important, to be proactive about having a plan, right?
Absolutely. That's an incredibly smart thing to do, looking for those deals, clearance, things like that. You can never really plan too early for all of this. And then also something that could set you up great for, let's say, next holiday season, starting a savings account now that's just dedicated for, let's say, holidays 2026, and just have a little bit from each paycheck automatically go into that account, kind of creating a sinking funds, situation that's really going to help alleviate some stress in the future as well.
No, that's very smart. And then also you have, in some of the notes you gave me, we're saying that, giving cash or gift cards is a good way, right? Because that way, obviously, people can buy what they want.
Sure.
So you're doing that. But also, you can give people a fixed amount of money, right? So you're saying, all right, I only have $25 to spend on this person. Okay, give them a gift card for $25. It's easy, right?
Yeah, that can help you stay on track with all of this. But not only that, seeing if there's anything that you can do yourself, or if there's anything like that. Some of those gifts can be even more memorable. I know not everyone's a fan of giving just cash or gift cards with that, but it is a way to stay on track with some of this as well.
Yeah, I think some people feel like that's kind of impersonal, or it's kind of the lazy way to give a gift, but I don't know. I think actually there's two ways to look at that. I think it's kind of nice, because then you don't run the risk of buying somebody something they don't necessarily want or need, and then you kind of spent that money without having to spend it.
Right.
So that's a good way to look
I agree.
at it too. And you already touched on this, but, experiences, right?
Yeah.
Doing something. And, to be honest, a lot of times I think those are the things we remember, right? I mean, we don't necessarily remember what somebody got us, some kind of a material item, but we remember, the fun family activity or something we did together. So, consider something like that. And maybe that's something where you can kind of share the cost with other people, with other loved ones, right?
Yeah. Creating those memories, trying to move from consumption to, let's say, celebration here during this time of year. But whether that be, looking at some of the things that we have, here in this area, whether, the Rotary Lights or other events that don't cost anything, there's no shortage of those here in the area. We're blessed with that. But ways that you can, have fun and experience the holidays with those that you care about, baking cookies or things like that. Right. I mean, holiday food is great, I think. Yeah. But things that you can do to, spend time together. And a lot of times, that's even more valuable.
Absolutely. Yeah. Go have a sledding party, if you have kids, and come back and have some hot chocolate or something like that. That's always a great way too. Tony, anything else we should touch on that we didn't mention as far as holiday spending and money tips? Yeah.
So, really important, like I said, the planning portion of all this, but there's a lot of great information on our website, altra.org. We also have financial coaches in our offices that can meet one-on-one with our members and kind of go over a plan and everything. And there's no cost to that whatsoever. But a lot of resources available. The sooner we could start planning with all of this, the better it's going to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Do it now. It's never too early to start formulating that plan. Tony, thank you so much. Good to see you. We appreciate it. That is Tony Byer. He is a financial wellness coordinator with Altra Federal Credit Union. You can find more on their website, altra.org. That'll do it for this edition of the Dollars and Cents Podcast here on the Leighton Media Podcast Network. We'll see you next time. Thanks for listening.
Dollars and Cents is a monthly podcast presented by Altra Federal Credit Union and the Leighton Media Podcast Network. Find this and other podcasts on demand at WinonaRadio.com.